Even though reading is mostly recommended as an implicit vocabulary learning strategy, where you focus on either learning the content of text or simply enjoying a work of fiction, reading can also be used as an explicit vocabulary learning strategy, where the focus of your reading is to learn vocabulary rather than to learn content. If you want to use this strategy, I recommend using news or factual articles rather than fiction, for the simple reason that what most students need to learn is a more advanced or academic vocabulary, and you're just more likely to find that in these kind of sources. So here we have the BBC front page. So I recommend that you use news and you pick articles about topics that you're interested in. So let's say, here's the front page, and let's say I want to be able to talk about the current coronavirus outbreak in China. To be able to do that, I of course need to know facts about the outbreak and so on, but I also need a vocabulary. So I'm going to choose this article to click on and read with the focus on like which words do I need to learn to be able to talk about this in English. So what I would start with is just to skim through the article to get an idea about what it's about. And when I do that, I see this is about a study about who's at risk. So there's a lot of talk about risks here, and of course a lot of talk about the virus itself and so on and so forth. And then you see these different graphs and statistics and so on, and confirmed cases. So I want to scroll through, skim a little bit, get an idea. And then I would have to start thinking about, okay, which expressions is it that I should learn here? So since this is an article about people who are at risk, maybe that's something that I can focus on. So I could try to find expressions that are used together with risk. So who is it that are, should I say, at risk, for risk, on risk, for example. And one way that I can do that, since I'm on my computer, I can use the Control and then F. It's Command F if you use a Mac, and then I get this little box here where I can search. So I can, for example, say risk. Okay, so I see that here it's at risk. People are at risk, and then I have to scroll, pointing out the risk, and here I also see at risk. All right, so those are the expressions. I can talk about being at risk and point out a risk. If I, for example, try the word virus, I see that I have more hits, 27 times that's used on this page. So if I want to talk about the virus, which words can I use? Died from the virus, in the virus epicenter, oh, that's a good expression. Virus tests, virus spread, description of the virus, patterns of infection. So you see that there are a lot of different words that I can use together with virus. Response to, the virus has spread, carrying the virus. All right, so that's what is used about people who are infected, that they're carrying the virus. So I can use the search function to find words. I can also just read and think, okay, whether something is a useful expression or not. For example, here you see confirmed cases. So that's a useful expression. How many confirmed cases are there? Like, what do we actually know? So you just have to read and focus on which expressions are essential to be able to talk about this topic in English. And again, words in context, not just one in one word, but risk. Which prepositions are used together with risk? How can I use this word to make a sentence about the topic? So, and definitely use the Control F or Command F if you're a Mac user to search for central words to find out how they're used. Of course, to get the most out of this strategy, you should combine it with other explicit vocabulary learning strategies, such as making graphic organizers or flashcards. So check out those learning strategies on this page as well.